Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to take a look at getting started with Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look at getting started with the Harlequins. In this video, we're going to go through what makes a Harlequin army special for the Eldari. We'll then take a look at some units we can use to grab and start up our Harlequin collection, and then look at some other units we can grab after that to expand upon those initial purchases. And finally, we'll finish off the video with a little sample 1,000 point army list for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Harlequins army in Warhammer 40,000. And so, Harlequins, like I said, they are found with their rules in Codex Eldari. They can be taken alongside normal Eldari factions in particular ways, but they also can just be their own standalone army. They have HQ, elites, troops, transports, heavy supports, fast attacks, everything you need to make a full army, so you can run all the different detachments you would think you could with this army. Now, Harlequins Penelope. This is one of the rules. It's going to give some really nice defensive buffs to our army, including the ability of a 4-up ward save, and also -1 to hit enemies targeting their Harlequin units with this rule in combat, but also will make moving easier as well, as your units generally can ignore vertical terrain when they're moving. Now on top of this, we have the Rising Crescendo ability. This is going to allow units to declare a charge in which they advanced, or they're able to shoot or declare a charge in which they fell back. These are just really nice buffs to have for your army. Means you're highly mobile, able to sort of pick and choose the fights you want to be in, and when you want to be in them, and where you want to be in them as well. Lastly, we've got some Luck of the Laughing God, which is just the ability to get some nice little rerolls in the army through various sources. Depending on the size of game you are playing, you'll have a different amount of luck rolls to be used throughout the game. But your Harlequins generally will be nice and deadly. They are rather elite of a force. They do have some nice defensive buffs, though they aren't actually tough themselves. So if your opponents can get through all your debuffing and all those rules, they will start to hurt you. And so, where to start though for a Harlequin army? Now, I'm going to actually suggest picking up the Harlequin Troop box set. This not only will give you a Harlequin Troop of 5 models, but you can also build one of these models as a Troop Master. The Troop Master is a HQ option, so straight away you've got troops and a HQ there for this. The Troop Master's pretty cool. His big thing is he's got the Choreographer of War aura, where friendly Harlequin core units within 6 inches of him, each time an attack is made, they get to reroll a wound roll of 1 while they're around him, which is really nice. He can take a variety of different weapons, including taking things like neuro disruptors and stuff like that, and fusion pistols. He's also got Troop Master weapons, where if this model is equipped with Harlequin Kiss or anything like that, he gets the appropriated keyword for having that weapon. Now, the Harlequin troop themselves, they are the troop choice, as the name might suggest, for the army. Now, they can have a variety of different weapons. You can have any Harlequin quizzes you want, and the unit does gain for every time you have a Harlequin's Kiss, Caress, or Embrace within the unit. You will get to have those keywords. These keywords generally play off different stratagems. So there's 3 different stratagems you have. You sort of want to try and pair them up. There's some nice combos you can do with the different stratagems throughout the army. Now, they can also choose to have fusion pistols and neuro disruptors as well. They get an amount based on how many models are in the unit. Now, on top of that, I would suggest grabbing a Star Weaver. Like I said, Harlequins are pretty fast. Like, they do have movement 8 on foot, but a Star Weaver here is just going to be a really useful transport for them. Keep them a little bit protected. Give them that extra sort of ablative wounds. You know, you're not too worried if this can get you 3/4 of the way and then it gets blown up. No worries, fine. Jump out and go do that. They are an open-topped vehicle. They do have some cool things like the Mirage launchers, where each time an attack is made against them, they subtract 1 from their hit rolls, and attacks cannot be re-rolled against these vehicles, which is pretty cool. And then they've got a Shuriken Cannon on top of that, so a heavy 3, strength 6, -1 AP, damage 2 Shuriken weapon is pretty nice. This is a great place to start. You're going to have a HQ, a troop, and a transport for all those models you have, because it can transport 6 models right there to start your Harlequin army with. But what to get next? Now, the Harlequins have a few interesting different characters, and the first of these is the other HQ option available to the Harlequins, and that is the Shadowseer. This is a Harlequin Psyker. It's got some nice psychic powers. There are some really interesting ones you can do through it. It's also got its own weapon options, so like a hallucinogenic grenade launcher for Assault D3, blast weapon, no strength, no AP and no damage, but each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, you roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the leadership characteristic of the target suffers a mortal wound. So some pretty cool stuff there. You can also have neurodisruptors, and then they've also got the misstave in close combat, which is really nice at +2 strength, -1 AP, damage D3. This also puts out a nice aura as well from the Shield from Harm, where friendly Harlequins core or Harlequin characters unit within 6 inches of this model, each time an attack is made against that unit, you subtract 1 from their wound rolls. So pretty nice sort of stacking with the Harlequin's already ability to get -1 to hit pretty easily throughout the army. Now onto our elite choices. First of all, we have the Death Jester. This is a nice ranged damage dealing unit armed with the Shriek Cannon, which is strength 6 -2 AP, damage 2 shuriken weapon, and each time you select a target for this weapon you can ignore Lookout Sir. So a nice little Harlequin sniper able to pick off your enemy's characters. On top of this, we have access to the Solitaire. He is an absolute blitzer and actually has a rule called Blitz, where once per battle in your movement phase, instead of making a normal move, this model can make a blitz move. If it does so, until the end of the turn, you add 2d6 to the move characteristic and add 2 to the attacks characteristic of this model, taking it to 10 attacks at its +2 strength and AP -3 damage 2, which would take it to strength 6. Really great at shredding a unit Marines into absolute ribbons. On top of it, you've got a 3-up invulnerable save. However, this model can never carry a relic or a warlord trait, so it can never be your warlord as such. Lastly, we have the Void Weavers and Sky Weavers. Void Weavers are a heavy support option and Sky Weavers are a fast attack option. They're pretty similar. You generally will get more Sky Weavers than Void Weavers. You really can substitute either one you want. I think the Sky Weaver Haywire Cannon and the Void Weaver Haywire Cannon are both really interesting options to take a look at. You do get more shots and you get a higher strength value out of the Void Weaver one, but you do get more of these weapons. Both of them are blast. You can also choose to take the Prismatic Cannon for your Void Weaver, which can actually have a strength 12 -4 AP, 2d3 damage, heavy 2 weapon on it as well. Once again, they've both got the Mirage launchers there for the -1 to hit, and they've got some other nice abilities like Ride the Wind, where each time a unit advances it just auto does it 6. And so here we have our sample army list of the Harlequins for you. Now we've gone for a patrol detachment, meaning we spend no CP on the detachment because our warlord is inside it, and then we've gone for taking the Sadath for dark. This is going to give us the ability to fight before we're removed when we die, and also the ability to get an extra armor penetration on all our melee attacks. Now on top of this, we have our Warlord, which is going to be a Troop Master. We've then chosen to take the Ghoul Mask Relic for a command point on this model. This is going to allow him to attempt to deny power as if he were a Psychic user, and then he's also got the Hideous Form Aura, where enemies lose objective secured within 3 inch of this model. So a pretty cool ability, I think. Now we've also got Player of the Dark as well, which is going to use another one of our starting CP, so we're down to 1, but I do think the ability to do the unmodified mortal wounds on a 5+, in addition to any damage from this model, is pretty nice. Now besides that, we have a Shadow Seer in our HQ slot as well. Psychic power we've gone for is Webway Dance, where on a 6 we can ignore wounds done to a unit that we target with this blessing. Besides that, we then go into our troops. Now, we've got a unit of 10 Harlequins. They've got a Harlequin's Kiss in there to give them the keyword. We've then got an Eldari Power Sword on the leader and 2 fusion pistols for some nice anti-tank weapons. And then we've got 2 other units of 5 Harlequins sitting in our troops choices as well. Both of them have a dual fusion pistols in them, but then only one of them has the Harlequin's Blade, while both will still have the Harlequin's Kiss. We then have a Death Jester in Elites. Now, we've got a cool upgrade on him where Harvester of Torment is one of the special upgrades you can take for your Death Jesters. Each time this model makes a ranged attack, and our modified hit roll of a 6 causes 3 additional hits. It can be really good for when he's trying to snipe people. And then we've got our Solitaire in there as well. Lastly, we've chucked in a Void Weaver in there. We've stuck with the Haywire Void Weaver Cannon. You can just swap this out for the other weapon. They're the same points if you prefer the other weapon. And then we've got 2 Star Weavers for the smaller units. One of them will probably have the Shadow Seer and the other with a Troop Master in those smaller units of Harlequins in these. But that is our 1,000 points on the nose for all our Harlequins, which is a really fun list. Like, this should have some nice, good mobility for you to have access to. We've used a couple of the CP already with this list, which is cool, but you get a more CP generation during the game now. I think Harlequins are a ton of fun. They've got a really interesting sort of aesthetic. They're super fun to paint and rewarding to paint as well. If you've been playing with Harlequins in 40k, let us know how you've been doing and what you would suggest down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come and chat more with me, a number of members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in our video's description to our Discord server. Finally, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked down in the comments below. As a special thank you to those Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising 8, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappi390. And a special thank you as well to Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Yun, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller, our YouTube members. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, everyone, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.